Good Tuesday evening. Welcome to BCP Live. Hi, I am Joey McWilliams. I am glad to be back in the routine of getting to visit with you all on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, whenever you happen to be watching this. It is a good Tuesday night. And listen, it's first Tuesday night in September, so we've made it through the Labor Day weekend. I know there were a lot of kids, including my own, who did not necessarily want to go back to school today. Probably the gentleman there in the right window appreciates that as well. But we're back. School is back. Business is back. And honestly, it's been a pretty good day. So I appreciate that as well. But another thing about this time of year is the fact that there's starting to be a lot of things going on. The summertime stuff is over. We're into the fall. I know someone needs to tell the weather that, but we're just about into the fall officially, and the fair is going on. Football is happening. Lots to talk about. We'll talk about a few things like that a little bit later on. In the meantime, I want to make good time and good use of the time to the gentleman there on the window and the right, Dr. Mike Simulescu. And Dr. Mike, first off, thank you very much for spending some time on a Tuesday night with me here on BCP Live and with the folks watching. I appreciate that a lot. We got to visit with somebody who works at your establishment last week. Got to visit with Dr. Kim. Let me let you talk about him just a little bit and what's happening at Texoma Pediatrics.
Yeah, absolutely. Joey, I appreciate your time tonight here on the Patriot. Dr. Kim has been with us about a month now. He's starting to get ramped up with patient care, which is really helpful to us. We've been really busy over the last few years and with our new clinic looking to expand, and he will give us the opportunity to do that. He's also taking a little bit of the load off our on-call responsibilities at Alliance Health. Adds another physician in our call group, so that gives us some more time off and a little bit of more time to spend with our families as well, which is important, and just due to the nature of our business. So we do appreciate him doing that. We do have walk-ins since we have all this increased availability now. We do have walk-in appointments, which we hadn't had in the past. We have had same-day appointments. So you'd call, you make an appointment same day. Now we have a walk-in option as well for sick visits. So that's been kind of helpful as we start to ramp up the fall, as you mentioned, back to school, and all that means an increase in, colds, virus, throat, those kinds of things. So we have increased availability for everybody to come see us. So we do appreciate him in that respect. We're excited that him and his family have decided to join us here in rural Oklahoma because we need more physicians. And he trained part of his time here as a medical student and then in Tulsa for his residency. So he is familiar with Oklahoma. His wife is from Texas. So we do appreciate his contribution to our clinic and our community.
Well, and I appreciated getting to visit with him as well. That's right. And you know what? We are rural Oklahoma, but we seem to be just continuing to grow. Durant and Bryan County both are growing. Parts of, I know that maybe not every part of the country, the state's growing. This part is, and to have more doctors to come in and be a part of this area is a welcome thing. I appreciate that. And I do want to say also, too, that we want the people who are working for us in this community, specifically in your profession right now, as we're talking about that, to get to have some time with family, because you need that as well, and it helps you to do your job better. So I want to make sure that's a part of it. Another thing that you're doing right now is that you are working with the city of Durant, recently elected to the Durant City Council. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that tonight and ask a couple of questions. Appreciate everyone watching, whether it be live or, again, watching the recorded version here on BCP Live. Dr. Mike, talk a little bit about what you all are doing. I know that there have been a number of things that have come since you've been installed in your position. One of them in particular, city manager. We are searching for a new city manager. Can you tell us a little bit about where that is right now in the process and what's going on there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the initial things when we came in, we felt a change was necessary, and we went ahead and did do a change at the city manager position. I'd like to thank Rick Rumsey. He's been the interim city manager provided by the company that's going to lead our city manager search, OMMS. He's done a wonderful job picking up the city and the interim label. I really appreciate him, with his expertise taken over there until we do find somebody to be full time. The initial idea was we were going to have a company do a search for the city manager, and we looked at the different bids at the previous meeting this month, and we selected OMMS, which is an Oklahoma-based company. We've used them in the past for city manager searches, and as well as they provide sort of people that have experience in municipal government to fill in certain positions. Like Mr. Rumsey, for example, he was like a public safety director for a while, and he's also has a history of being assistant city manager in Sapulpa and also police chief in Sapulpa. So those type of folks that when you need somebody, when you're looking for temporary people to come fill in until you find a permanent position, that's what this company does. And we've selected them. I think it was approximately $20,000 contract, something in that range. I think there was some wrong number thrown in previous to that, but that's kind of where the contract is. They will filter applications, and then we will sit down with them and kind of pick people to interview, and then we will go from there.
All right. Well, I know that's been a big thing, and we want to get that position taken care of as a city and as a community. Another thing that comes to mind when we talk about things happening, and that the word infrastructure is thrown around a lot. I don't think it's always used in the proper sense of the actual term, but when people think about it, they often think about some of the things that they see every day, like roads. And I know that that also has been something big that's been on the plate of the city council, is dealing with roads, and specifically University Boulevard. Can you tell us a little bit about where that is? And we see, it seems like there's always something happening out there. Can you kind of tell us where that is? And I know that's not the only road that's being dealt with in the city of Durant.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, so obviously the University Boulevard project's taken quite a ways to get completed here over the last year or two, but we're in the striking distance of being done. I know a lot of people have said that in the past, but we are in the striking distance of being done. The north lane has been opened, and then they're going to start working on the westbound lane is opened, and then they're going to work on the eastbound lane starting soon here. The goal is for it to be done, from the last report we got was early October, and that's open to traffic, and that's what our goal is. Depending on the weather, right now the weather's been helpful, so we are moving slowly towards that completion. There's also some the stoplights need to be reworked and fixed and those kinds of things, but the traffic part of it, hopefully by early October, will be working. We're also the contractor has been, for the most part, meeting the deadlines within reason, from what I understand, with their when they redid their contract. So I think they're hitting their milestones according to the city.
And that I actually did drive on that a little bit earlier this evening. So that the lane, and if it's the westbound lane, although everything's been going westbound for quite a while there, but it is the true westbound lane, and it is the lane that is on the north side of University Boulevard. So if you can picture that, it has changed. It's just from yesterday to today, and I did drive on that today. So it's going to the shops on the north side of the road there, and the businesses that are over there. I know that's a lot going on too, and I know that's been a big deal. When you think about this, Dr. Mike, and of course we mentioned those two areas. I know we want to talk about one more in particular. I mean, those are the things that seem to stand out. Is there anything that just seems to stand out like those two things when people talk with you about city business?
So I think that's, obviously that's probably the biggest thing as well. There's some water line that we've received some funding from the state to complete a water line for Rural Water 5, which we're still in the process of securing all the funding for the whole line, but that'll help with some of that sort of growth that we've been experiencing. We're also, they're paving $1.2 million worth of streets in town. Some have started, some will be over the next 3 months or so. So we are getting that infrastructure done as well. But it is obviously a lot that we are dealing with currently, but we are starting to, make a little bit of movement in that direction. They've replaced playground equipment at Keithley Park. So the kids over by the splash pad there can enjoy some new playground equipment. So that's been a long time coming, and they will be working with, the next step will be, Dixon Durant Park, the equipment there. So we are working towards some of those things as well. But like I said, our big our big issue right now. I think university is probably our biggest concern, but there are other things we're dealing with as well. So there's a lot of balls up in the air, as the people like to say. So.
Okay, I can juggle. I'm just I don't know if that's something anyone needed to know or not, but I can juggle, and you're right, and that's the key is just keeping the balls up in the air. Just keep your eyes on the prize there, and keep those balls going, keep them up in the air. Dr. Mike, one other thing too, and I appreciate again you taking time to be with us here tonight. There, one of the areas too that's in town. By the way, the equipment at Keithley Park looks very nice, and I think that's really cool. I loved when the kids have more things on which to play and more opportunities for them just to get out and do something. You talk about the kids. The south part of town over by the sports complex, that is another area that it's a really, really good place. It's so fantastic that Durant and Bryan County has that area there. Talk a little bit about that, and I know that there are more opportunities. We need to take care of some other things money wise involving that.
Absolutely. So a lot of people don't know this, but there's a half-cent tax that is dedicated towards the sports complex and the southeastern arena, and the tax is expiring next year. So there's a significant amount of money in that we call it the Durant Community Facilities Authority, for the complex and for the arena. So there is. We were having a subcommittee to kind of decide what kind of big plan we want so that we can set the sports complex, set it up for success for the future as we go. Make sure we use that money for what it is intended. We need some lighting, we need some track maintenance. There's a bunch of different things that need to be done there. So we're looking, and if anybody has any ideas they want to run by us before we start this process or during this process, to come up with sort of a plan for that money that is dedicated towards a sports complex and some of the potentially some of the community facilities that we can spend towards that the voters had intended for us to do before this tax expires. So we're excited about that, to kind of put the sports complex and some other parts potentially on the good path for the future as we move on from that tax.
Okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to say that I broadcast sports, so that's the drinking game here. And by the way, it's always water, always water. But in light of that, yeah, I may have an idea or two myself, so I'm going to submit those to you. I appreciate the opportunity to do that because you might get something from me on that. As we wrap up our time here, I wanted to give you an opportunity. Open question now. What would you like to say to the community? How would you wrap up your time tonight and just give you that opportunity to close out?
Sure. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody. Last 4 months we've been city council. Some of it's been a little more heated. Some of it's kind of been mundane city business. It just kind of comes and goes with the territory. But I do appreciate all the citizens' concerns and complaints that are brought to us. I feel like we've tried our best to address some of the things that we can address. Sometimes citizens come up with things that we weren't aware of to look into, and I do appreciate the input from our voters and our citizens. There's a lot of learning to be done on how the cities run, things to improve, things that are doing well. So I do appreciate the patience from the citizens. I appreciate the passion. I always get different issues and a lot of passion on that, and I do. We all have passion. City of Durant, and I appreciate that. And as we go forward over the next few months with new leadership, a few years with new leadership, and kind of go in a different direction, hopefully we can start to build on some of the momentum that we've started to have over the last few months.
All right. Well, you know what? I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for taking the time to serve the city and serve the community in and amongst all the other things going on with a thriving business that seems to be growing. Of course, new people coming in, as we talked about that as well. So, Dr. Mike Simulescu, thank you so much for taking time with us tonight here. Open invitation to come back and tell us more things about what's going on with the works of the city, and we do appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anytime. I enjoy my time talking to you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm letting Dr. Mike go tonight, and we'll start to wrap things up. And I know, well, he's got family too. I need to let him get those kids to bed and everybody in bed. So I let him have a good night, and also very thankful that he came on with me. I appreciate that. We've had good guests to start off the 2023-2024, I guess, academic year. We got things going back up when school started again. And I just appreciate you all taking some time with me. So I know I'm going to wrap up here really quickly, but I wanted to remind you of a couple of things. In case you didn't know, this is Fair Week. It's Bryan County Free Fair. It started today, and we'll have some information about that then on the Bryan County Patriot proper on BryanCountyPatriot.com. I was trying to share something the other day, and I'll let you know really quickly what went on with that. I had an issue with Facebook, and I know this is actually supposed to be on Facebook Live. I believe that the ones who are watching now are all on Facebook Live. So I posted an obituary, and Facebook removed it. And so I thought there's something wrong with that. That's no big deal. I reposted that obituary. Facebook removed it again. And so that was a point of frustration for me. So I posted a couple more, kind of went on about my way, sent word to Facebook, hey, don't know what the issue is, blah, blah, blah. Still haven't received a response. That's been 4 days. So no response there. Later on in the day, posted another obituary. That obituary was removed. So I don't know, and I've sent word into Facebook, and I don't know what went wrong with that. Don't know why anything would have been wrong with that. I also have an issue with the fact that if something's gone wrong, tell me what I've done wrong so I can fix it. If you don't tell me what rules I've violated, I can't fix that violation of rules. Just saying. So that's where we are on that. So we do want to continue. We're continuing to post obituaries on the Bryan County Patriot on BryanCountyPatriot.com. If there's been an issue with Facebook not getting that obituary up there, I'm sorry. We're trying to work around that and see what we can do to make sure that you get that information. So that having been said, we still have more coming up on BryanCountyPatriot.com. The fair is going on this week. The carnival is open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Or that's when I think you can get one of the bracelets or get the pass. So don't forget about the carnival. That was always the fun thing for me. I grew up in Carter County. I always remember the Carter County Free Fair, and the carnival was a big thing. So most of my memories of that, I did have some entries in the fair. Just saying, I had some entries in the fair. I actually did have something that not only won the county fair, but went to state and won a grand champion prize up there. No, it was not an animal. I did not get to show an animal. That wasn't what I had. I'll tell you another time what it was. But I did win at the state fair. I did win a grand champion prize. So I'm just saying, this was back in 1980 something. I know. But free fair is going on. So don't forget, tomorrow is entry day for those that are showing animals. Tomorrow is entry day, and Thursday is judging day. So there's a lot going on over the course of the next 2 days. And then, of course, Friday and Saturday. By the way, don't forget, just go ahead and tell you that I broadcast sports. Don't forget, there is football happening on Friday night. Durant and Caddo are both playing football. And Saturday, Southeastern with its home opener. Southeastern hosting the Reddies of Henderson State. And this is a game Southeastern needs to win this game. So come on out and support your Savage Storm. You need to pick up a victory against those guys from Arkadelphia. So the Reddies are coming to town. It's going to be a big day. Hopefully, I know the cool front's not scheduled at this point to come in until Saturday evening, Sunday or whatever. Maybe it'll come in a little bit sooner. So be sure, come on out, support the Savage Storm football. And Midwest Sports Saturday is going to be broadcasting live from Paul Laird Field. And so I'll be going live there at 4 o'clock myself on our sister channel, the Midwest Sportsnet YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Midwest Sportsnet, Midwest Sportsnet. All right. I think that's it tonight. I want to say thanks to Dr. Mike Simulescu for being on the program with me. And we will have more next Tuesday night. We'll talk a little bit about maybe some of the things that happened at the fair. Hopefully, we'll be able to tell you that the Southeastern football team won against Henderson State, so that'll be a big deal. Homecoming's coming up in a couple of weeks as well. And there's just a lot of activity, by the way. Saturday, prior to the game, I believe, we're talking afternoon, like 2 and 3 in the afternoon, true blue stuff going on. So plan your whole day to spend some time at Pollard Field or thereabout, because it's just a good college football day and everyone should come out and have a lot of fun. All right. I think that's it. I think that is it. Unless someone tells me I missed something, I think I got it all done. All right. We're closing in on 20 minutes. So let me say, number one, be wise in what you do. This is a good way to go about your rest of your week. Be wise. And if you feel like, hey, I don't feel like I'm wise enough, God said if you'll ask for wisdom, he said he would give it to you. That's in James chapter 1, verse 5. So be wise. Number two, walk in love. Okay. And I just encourage you, walk in love. That is the best thing to do. It's not always the easiest thing to do. It is always the best thing to do. And number three, do not walk in fear. I can't tell you just by going on to Twitter today or X. I'm not calling it that. It's still Twitter. There are so many things that are on there that if you just look at it in one sense, you could be afraid of the world and all the things that are trying to go on around us. Don't walk in fear. Have respect for situations, but do not walk in fear. Be wise. Walk in love. Do not walk in fear. Thanks again to Dr. Mike Simulescu. Next Tuesday night at 9, we will have more to talk about. And don't forget to visit BryanCountyPatriot.com. Lots of great advertisers and sponsors there. Good businesses here locally within our county, and you need to stop by their businesses as well. In the meantime, God bless you. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Joey McWilliams. Have a great night. We will see you all very, very soon.